What's up, guys? Edrone here. Thank you all so much for coming in. Welcome in Michael Blades, RC Crazy Vampire, Bot Grinder FBV. We got June Loke 0619, Jessica Linzer, Mr. Crowley, B Mordino, Chuck at FPV, Ray Kelly, Jessica Linzer, and Savannah's Adventures. Welcome in, Ray Kelly. Welcome in. Michael Blade, good to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming in, guys. We have a very, very special guest on the show tonight, and you're not going to want to miss out. It's going to be a great show. How's the audio? What's up? Double? Oh, he said double audio. Double A. Hey, welcome in, Double A. We're going to do an open Q&A at the end of the stream for Onigiri, so make sure you hang out. And without further ado, please welcome in the one, the only, Onigiri.
Oh, I love your
right,
setup. Yes, you did. Your setup is
Awesome.
amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. I love your little studio that you have there.
Thank you. I did what I could in my little house.
Yeah, and I have a special banner just for you. Look at that.
Oh, that's so cute. It's
So
like even the
welcoming.
music was amazing. The intro music, I was like, wow, I'm getting stressed.
Oh no. I hope you're getting excited, not stressed.
Yeah, no, it's a good stress.
Okay, good. Welcome in, Baduga FPV. Welcome in. Oh, my applause didn't work on that. Awesome. So you are actually you. What time is it for you right now?
So it's 10 a.m. on Sunday.
So she is from the future, guys, for
Yes.
where we are. This is amazing. We have Onigiri from the future. So, what would be some advice? You being from the future and all. What would be some good advice for everybody over here on the East Coast?
I would say the future is bright, so just chill and it will be okay.
All right, I like that. That's a great way to look into the future there.
If you see my little dog jumping up and down, oh no, Mama, it's
Oh,
because she wants attention. So
oh
I will try
yeah.
to. I
And
will
what's your
try to.
dog's name?
Momo.
Momo.
Yes, it's Japanese
Oh,
name as well.
welcome in, Momo. There we go. Welcome in, Momo. What a cute dog.
She
That's
is, but
awesome.
she loves interrupting me when I'm on my desk like this and talking to the microphone. So it will happen
We're
occasionally.
happy to. It's a female.
Yes.
We're happy to have her.
She's happy to be here.
Absolutely. Let's see. Novice Quads, welcome in. And Mr. Gauss, welcome, guys. All right. So I got to ask you, just right off the bat, how, and everybody in chat may not know, how did you get started into FPV? Because you've been in the hobby for quite some time.
Yeah, it was a combination of different things that I didn't realize the first few times I was telling the story. So I'm from France. I think it sounds like I'm from France. And back in France during my studies, my ex-boyfriend was already into drones and building them. But it was an FPV. It was just for the sake of building big drones with plastic frames and stuff like that, and Arduino. And it was full of vibrations. He had like an old Hero 2 on it. He was recording flights at like 1 kilometers an hour, and I
Wow.
was just watching that on his laptop, and I was like, why are you doing this? It's ugly. But I was still impressed that he was able to film our building and stuff like that where we were living. And then because I moved to Australia as a backpacker, no time for drone, obviously. And but back in France, I was flying a little line of sight drone as well. It was called a ladybird at the time. So I was flying this in the living room. It was fun. But yeah, back to when we came back to Australia, we stopped flying drones. And then one day, because I was watching Casey Neistat channel, I discovered the Mavic Pro. Oh, and
Oh,
I was
wow.
already, yeah. So I already liked making videos, and I thought that's such a great additional view, to show whatever I'm doing when I'm traveling and stuff like that. So I bought one. And after that, probably 6 months later, we discovered with my ex-boyfriend the Roto Riot channel.
Uh-huh.
Especially, I think we discovered it through Oh My God channel first, because that's the video we discovered when he was flying in Hawaii. And then when I saw what he was doing in Hawaii with his mini quad, I was like, what? He's like going through, fences, like wooden fences, he's diving waterfalls. And I thought it was amazing. And that's how I started. Because my ex-boyfriend already had started building one, but he had not showed me what was on the channel. And then when I saw what was possible, I just thought I need one too.
You
So
have a
yeah.
friend in the chat. Bot Grinder FPV is in here, and he says to make sure that I ask you about the time that you had to break into a 100-year-old toilet to get your drone back.
Yes. So that was a cool spot. Like, I love that spot. It was, I think people know it's this brick wall that is doing some arches in Philadelphia, but Grinder flies there. I wonder if it's still there at the moment. It might have been destructed. But yeah, I caught some scraggles, and then it rolled, and yeah, went in the toilet. And I had to like crawl under the door and go and retrieve it. And yeah, it wasn't the best
But isn't
thing
it
to
funny
do.
how those adventures, like we never forget those adventures, they stick with us. Like the times when you're just like ready to pull your hair out, you're like, oh, but you look back on it and you're like, man, that was so funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. At the time, you're like, oh, how am I gonna get my drone back? And then a few years later, you're like, oh, it was fun, but no, it's not. It's just the memories.
I think that's awesome that you got started out in the camera space pretty much. You started out with, you said, like a Mavic Pro type of drone, and
Mm.
you said your ex-boyfriend was building them. Man, how spoiled are the people of today getting in the hobby versus where you started, huh?
So yeah, because yeah, a little bit. I was talking about this with a young pilot from here. He's called Joseph Webb. He's from New South Wales, and he's really good. He's doing like this bang style that all the young people are doing now, and he's doing it well. But we were talking just the fact that before we had power distribution board, we had PDBs, just a single board to power stuff only, like it was not doing anything else than just powering up the components. And now we have like all-in-one boards, we have 4-in-1 ESCs, and yeah, it's quite impressive how everything is. When I started, we just had switched to better flight, so there was clean flight and then better flight. So I'm not like the really old school generation of pilots where, like I said, they had to fiddle with Arduino and everything. I'm glad that I arrived already after that, because oh man, that looked even worse. But we had to put capacitors on PDBs. That was like the thing that has changed since then. The cameras, like I always wanted. I was like, why are we flying analog? Can we have HD? Already. Yeah, all these kind of things.
Absolutely. I mean, wow, look how far the hobby has come. Just, I'd say, in the last maybe 2-3 years.
Yeah.
It really
Yes.
has. Seems like it's just kind of hit the fast lane, and the products keep getting better and better. And like you said, now we've got HD.
Yes.
So wow. Welcome in. I just saw somebody. I thought, oh, Tommy G, welcome in. Good to see you, brother. Welcome in. So, I mean, how cool is it now, to be able to now? I guess you're flying HD now, from what I've been seeing.
I do both, depending on what I want to do. So
Yeah.
I still really like recording some flights to just in good quality. And the setup I have at the moment is either analog plus GoPro Hero 6, or the Micro Apex 4-inch with the Cadix Vista. But it records, it doesn't record 1080. So I fly this one when I just want to have fun and then look back at my flights if I want to. It doesn't matter, and it's great. I hope it's gonna get better and better. I hope we'll have more choice than DJI as well when it comes to HD. I know there's not just DJI at the moment already, but everything is still like starting. So I don't think it's the best way to fly yet at the moment, though. I still prefer how analog feels. But when I want to have fun, and I really like 4-inch drones at the moment, I feel like, they're cheaper to build, they're stronger because they're lighter. So, they, in a way, everything the way they made makes a 4-inch stronger. So I like that I can just go for it with it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm halfway between analog and HD at the moment.
I'm right there with you. I actually just invested not that long ago into the Fat Shark Bite system,
Okay.
and
Yes.
I've been testing it out, and I got a video releasing Monday. Finally, it took me forever and a day to get that video done, but it's going to be coming out Monday. And yeah, I definitely see some big differences, and there's also some similarities. So I don't know if you've ever got a chance to try it, but if you
I
ever get a chance to
didn't.
try it, I think you will agree that it is a lot like analog the way it breaks up versus like
Okay.
DJI.
Ah,
So
yeah, that's the part I don't like about DJI. Luckily, it only happened to me once. The signal being like "fuck you." Oh, sorry, I don't know if it's PJ, but
that's all right.
yeah,
Let it roll.
yeah, and that's so much more scary than analog. I had black screen before, in analog, and then it comes back, so it's okay. But the DJI signal that froze and didn't come back, I'm like, what? What am I doing now? So it was okay because I was flying a Cinewhoop, very close to the ground. I just disarmed, and it was okay. But yeah, so Sharkbite seems to. I've noticed comparison between Sharkbite and digital, DJI digital on YouTube, and yeah, the Sharkbite seemed to have like little pixels that were, yeah,
Uh
blinking
huh.
everywhere, flickering,
I like to
whereas
call it like digital static. That's what it reminds me of.
yeah, so that was interesting. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Welcome in, RC Crazy. Good to see you, brother. Welcome in. And Failsafe FBV, welcome in as well. Make sure I get everybody. Um, yeah, and it's interesting that you say that you really like the 4-inch because I just recently built a 3-inch
Ah,
Japilora Armaton,
oh yeah.
and I was very like, well, I'm probably not going to like this thing as much as my 5-inch. No, I love it. It's so much fun. Like the way it throws, it actually kind of feels like a 5-inch a little bit, and so I can imagine that a 4-inch would just be that much closer to
Yes.
feeling like a
So
5-inch.
yeah, so I used to fly also a Japalura ages ago. Oh, well, not ages ago, probably I think 2018.
Uh
And
huh.
at the time, components we had, even for small drones, they were not really efficient for small drones. They were too heavy for this kind of drones, and the batteries were too heavy, and so it was very off. It was not because of the frame; it was just everything we had to put in it. So,
Yes.
because even for example, a VTX at the time was big for no reason. They had to squish it in. So I think I didn't like it as much as 5-inch, but not because of the frame size, more because of the total weight of the build. I don't remember how heavy it was, but for a little drone, it was too heavy. So
Uh
you
huh.
would you would you would like increase throttle, it would be fine. But then if you were cutting throttle, it was falling too fast. The momentum was not the same as a 5-inch. But
Yeah.
yeah, I assume now with all the different, the progress that has been made with size and weight of components, it's probably very close to 5-inch as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I did have to up the idle some, and then I put some like more aggressive HQ props on it,
Yeah.
and man, that just seemed to just go ahead and fix all that. And I run it on 3S, and
Ah, yes.
it's just a blast to fly. You can see it right there.
Ah,
Kind
yes.
of see it
Yeah.
on the wall there. And it is an absolute blast to fly. And I'm like, man, I can't believe I love this as much as I do. And it's not, as noisy as the 5-inch. It doesn't really like get people like nervous like the 5-inch does. It just has a much
Yeah.
less approach to, kind of screaming, if that makes any
Yes.
sense. But
Yeah. Even flying the 4-inch, that you reminded me of this. I wanted to fly the 4-inch because it's a bit more discreet. Like
uh-huh.
people don't hear you as much because I'm flying also HQ props on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're very well made, obviously, and yeah, the noise is not that crazy. And it's funny because one day I was out with a friend, we were flying, and I was the first flying, and I said, "Oh, I really like this one because you can't hear it." And we were flying in a industrial zone, so you don't really want to get noticed. We were not doing anything crazy, but you don't want to get noticed. And then I don't remember which props it was. I know it was Dal props, and he starts his five, and it was like there were five blades, and it was just screaming in all this industrial zone. I'm like, oh well, I could have bought my
Uh,
5 inch, would have been the same.
I know, right? You could definitely you could hear the 5 inch.
Yeah,
They're a very distinct sound, and it's definitely a lot louder than the smaller ones for sure.
yeah, and blades are very distinctive as well. Like when you hear them, they're more like a big insect, like screaming around.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people in my circle, we have a little circle of friends that we all get together and we fly and we talk and keep up with each other. We are all pretty much for the most part all diehard Impulse RC fans.
Ah,
We love Impulse RC. I have all reverbs and Alien. I've got 3 5 inch reverbs. I've got
wow.
one 5 inch, or it's a 4 inch with 5 inch arms Alien. And
Wow.
yet another buddy of mine, MD95 TSI, Chris Justice, he flies the Apex, absolutely loves that frame. Chuck at FPV, he flies the Alien, he loves that frame. And we have put these frames through absolute punishment. Um,
Mm.
Bando, concrete, steel, asphalt, you name it. And they just keep taking the beatings.
Yes, yeah. Especially Apex, I have a feeling that, because breaking arms on aliens, it happens. Like, to be honest, it's a great frame to protect your component. But arms were just like not any other frame, but frames that were on the market famous at the time, you would be like, oh, I broke an arm of my alien. It was quite standard. I I speak with people flying Apex who fly more aggressive than I do because I'm like cruising around. But I know people who actually do hardcore freestyle, and they're like, oh, I don't understand. I haven't broken an arm yet, and I'm like, oh, that's good. It's not just me. It's everybody. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I've broken, I think, like 2 arms on my Alien, but my Reverb, I have yet to break an arm.
The
Um,
reverb is really strong too.
it
Yes. Yeah.
really is. I actually, Chuck at FPV had a Reverb for a really long time. I actually ended up getting that frame, building it myself, and flying it for about another 6 months, using that as my primary bashing quad. And
Yeah.
finally, after the second owner, I broke the top and bottom plate after a really hard crash. But the fact that he was able to fly for as long as he did, and he doesn't take it easy at all on his stuff. If you've ever
Yeah.
seen Chuck It, he doesn't take it easy at all. And wow, I was like, man, this speaks volumes about the quality of the carbon that they use. It really is. I mean, it's really premium stuff.
Yeah, the carbon, and also I think the design is just yeah, they think about it a lot. And not saying the other brands don't, but I feel like the ideas they bring sometimes are just pow- it makes sense from an engineering point of view. The Apex, the fact that you introduce this little key part in the middle of your all your arms. It makes sense in terms of when you hit an obstacle where the strength is, sorry, I miss vocabulary in English for that, but the forces and
Oh
everything
yeah,
where
yeah.
it applies, it just helps with everything. And what happens with the Apex, and it doesn't matter then, because you can change it easily. You can have screws that are split, and that's how you break screws before you break your frame. But we all have like heaps of spare screws, so
Oh
if you
yeah.
have some with you on the field, that's it, problem solved. It So it's great. I like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I can imagine that the 4 inch is going to be just as strong, if not stronger, like you said, because it's lighter. Um,
Yes.
and I imagine I would have to take a guess, but I would imagine that the 4 inch is that getting closer to that 250 grams or not so much.
So you can, with both the 4 inch and 3 inch, you can build sub 250 grams.
Okay.
Um, it's more complicated if you decide to go digital and
Ah,
4 inch, because digital, you cannot strip like the even the calyx, the unit that comes with it, it's heavy. Or if you want sorry, I was just thinking, if you want really to do a sub 250, it's better to go with a 3 inch and analog, because now you can have VTX, like Team Black Sheep has like tiny things now, RX and VTX, but if you
yeah.
go analog, if you go digital, it gets more complicated. So I haven't built a 3 inch, I just have my 4 inch, and it's around I don't want to say something wrong, I think it was 291. So I'm way above the 250, but it wasn't the goal, to be a sub 250. This one, I was like, I just want a
Right.
smaller
But
apex.
the option is there, so you could actually build upon that frame and go with the later weight components and actually get it to be that sub 250 if you needed
Yeah.
to.
Yes, and the main component that you can shave weight off, from it's obviously the motors and then the batteries. So it's always hard, right, to find the balance between the size of your battery and the flight time you get from it. But
Right.
with the little drones, it's worth it. It's worth experimenting a little bit. You just buy like one battery, you try it, two batteries, see how you go. And if you really really want to build a sub 250, it's doable, but you need to be still a little bit how can I say, creative with your choice of components.
Okay, that makes sense. Welcome
Yeah.
in 608. Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Um, and I want to go back to the analog because I still fly a lot of analog, and I know there's been some people that have said, "Oh, analog sucks," and I think
Mm,
those people that say that, I really do think that for one, they probably didn't get the best of quality components, or two,
yeah.
they probably didn't have it wired up the best way they possibly could to filter out a lot of that unwanted noise and interference.
Hmm.
Because I got to tell you, with the rapid fire
Hmm.
module that I use on my HD3s and the Rush Tank VTXs, I crank up to 800 milliwatt. I got to tell you, and I use all Lumineer, antennas. I have a really good experience with analog. I think like, very, very good experience. So what components do you use for your analog setups?
I haven't changed for 3 years. So for my analogs, I still have Foxy of Falcor, and I think
Uh-huh.
it's not even the latest version. It's probably a V2 or something. um, I have Team Black Sheep Unify Pro 5 volt. And then I still have the huge Triumph. I don't even have the new Triumph.
There you go. Triumph is a
Yeah.
great antenna. Yeah.
Yes, and the only thing that I changed recently, so 2 years ago, I got the HDOs, which was a
Uh-huh.
mistake because I didn't know the second one were coming. But it's
Yeah, that's how it
you,
always works.
yeah, you get what you get. I'm not complaining because I have HDOs. And then for a long time, I had the standard. What's their name? The module. Oh, sorry, I have the same people who do now True DX, which is what I have now. I forgot. I just have a brain freeze right now. Yeah.
Oh, True
Um,
D. I'm trying to think. I used to have a True D,
yes.
but I can't think of the name
Ah,
of the company. But I
I
know
don't
I
know
know what
why.
you're talking about.
It's what's their name? Furious FPV. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Furious
Yeah.
FPV. Yep.
Yes. So because it's the first module I had for a long time, the standard Furious FPV, I forgot the name. It probably didn't have a name or something, and it was doing its job with my HD3s and the goggles I had before. I was just like, oh, when they created the True DX, I'm like, oh, I don't need rapid fire. I'm not a racer. I'm not. I will at the time I wasn't able to fly as often as I used to, so I just went for that, and it does a job too. It's pretty cool. I've flown it
Yeah,
in abandoned buildings, and if you're not on 25 milliwatts, that's fine.
absolutely.
Yes.
That
Is it
was my
legal?
first module actually, was the Furious FPV True D.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it worked great. I only went to rapid fire because I wanted to kind of get a different kind of breakup.
Yes.
Um, and but I was getting great results with the Furious. I actually have friends that still actually fly it pretty much to this day, and
Yeah.
they love it. They have no issues, and they're really happy with it.
Yeah, mine had an issue because so the only thing I think the difference because I also tried TBS Fusion, I think it's the name, yeah,
Uh
Fusion.
huh.
So I had this one at some stage for work because that's the one the company bought, and I really liked it. Actually, it was really good too. The only difference I think with the 2D, beside obviously a bit of range and a bit of vision that is different, is also the quality behind the components. So I don't want to spit on Fergus FP because obviously I'm still using their stuff, but
Right.
my module after a while, when I was because I had to remove it sometimes from my goggles,
Uh huh.
it ended up being split in half. So you have those boards with the little spikes in it. I'm missing vocabulary in English for that, but um, the module
With the
itself,
pin, you're talking about the
yeah,
pins.
the pins,
Uh huh.
the two, because the board, the module is two boards like a sandwich, and it's
Right.
just if I remove it, sometimes I just have one half of the sandwich and the rest is still in my goggles.
Ah.
I'm not sure, this would happen if you invest in a more expensive module like what you have, the Rapid Fire or the Team Black Sheep one. So I thought it was dying. My module because obviously it's not good to have module splitting in half sometimes. So but no, I fixed it. A friend helped me fix it. We just like really really squished the sandwich together and it's working again. But I'm like,
Oh, good.
if it's dying in the future, I don't think I will go back to this, not because of the vision but just because of those kind of things. The durability of the product itself is not
And
there
how
yet.
long have you had that module, that same Furious FPV module?
So that was 2019 as well. 2019.
I mean, that's got to speak volumes for itself. I mean, the fact that
Yeah.
it's what 3 year going on 3 years old. I mean, for electronics, I think you've definitely gotten your money's worth out of it for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yes, yes. And to be completely transparent, my goggles suffered a crash because I left it on one of my chair here because I'm a mess at home. I put cows everywhere, and my boyfriend didn't realize, and he kicked it, and the goggles fell. And I was like, my HDOs, they were like 3 months old,
I wouldn't
and
know anything about clutter or a mess or taking over your basement or nothing like that.
yes, yeah, I'm really bad with that. But yeah, so the goggles fell, from like a high chair height. So it could have been way worse, and maybe that's when also the module got damaged. Who knows? Like I don't know. So yes,
Okay.
yes. So
So I've been trying to keep up with you on Instagram. Make sure you check out Onigiri's channel down in the description. Make sure you give her a sub and smash that like button for her. And definitely, she's got some awesome content. And I see that you're into music as well. Like you're kind of like doing music as well as the FPV, huh?
yeah, a little bit. It's just it was my first hobby back in France. When I was a teenager, I really liked music in general, and I thought, well, if I like music, listening to it, maybe I can give it a go. And the easiest thing to learn is guitar. Everybody who likes music wants to play guitar, so just started playing guitar and didn't take lessons. Just my parents got me one. I was so happy, and we already had internet at the time, obviously, so you just Google stuff and you learn how to play basic things. And then because the first instrument I really wanted to play, if I could have chosen, would have been the drums, but obviously my
Ah,
parents, like, they would have never said yes. I didn't even ask, knowing my parents. So guitar. And then I thought, you know what, something that I really like too is the bass guitar. So then I was able to get one, and it's closer more to the, not to the drums, but it gives you the rhythm of a song. So I'm really happy when I play the bass. But
awesome.
they're just hobbies. I've never taken any lessons or anything like that. So it's for fun.
Well, you have so many talents, and you are an inspiration to so many, including myself. When I first
Oh,
got started in FPV, I watched your videos and I saw your progress, and I took note of the the products that you were using and that you were recommending. And to
Mhm.
this day, I'm still using Ethics Props, Immersion RC, not Immersion RC,
Yeah.
Immersion RC frames. And
Mhm.
wow, I just can't believe I finally got you on the show, and you are just an inspiration to so many. So thank you for all that you do for our hobby, because
Thank you.
you have a lot of people that support you, and you have inspired.
Thank
You're a very inspirational pilot to so many.
Thanks. It's nice.
Absolutely. So I think it would be kosher if you were to be the lucky selector of the giveaway winner tonight.
Ah,
What do you guys think?
no, that's big pressure.
Yeah. So I think tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to do a giveaway. And what we're going to be giving away tonight is a nice little FPV pack. We've got a Team Black Sheep Immortal T antenna for your if you have the TBS receivers for Crossfire. So we've got one of those. We also have a 10% off of Velocidrone card here with a little code on it. We also have a Lumineer Axie. This is the 5.8 micro Axie 2 FPV antenna here in the box. And we could not do this giveaway without 2 packs of Ethics. These are the S4 props. You get 2 packs of these. We have a Team Black Sheep sticker pack. Awesome sticker pack here. I almost kept this for myself, but we're going to go ahead and give this sticker pack with this giveaway. And you're also going to get one of my favorite vendor, a Pyro Drone strap, battery strap. So
Nice.
yeah, absolutely. We're going to give all this away on the stream live. If you're in the US, this is a US only giveaway. Sorry guys, the shipping is still kind of crazy right now with the COVID, so it's just been very difficult to ship anything out of the US. But if you do live in the US and you would like to win that FPV prize pack that I just showed, because whoever wins is going to win all that. Go ahead and put it down in the comments. Go ahead and put enter. Just type in enter, and we're going to have our lovely special guest, Onigiri, is going to handpick the winner herself.
Uh, that's very hard.
Yeah. So once we start seeing some enters in the live chat, can you see the live chat? By the way, I forgot to ask you.
I just switched to YouTube, so now I can see the live
Oh,
chat on there.
okay,
Um,
cool.
oh my god, this is very hard.
Oh,
I
so we
don't.
got Michael Blade, we got Roberto FPV, we got Baduga. You're not in the U.S. Shame.
So who's not in the US? Baduga is not in the US.
Baduga's not in the U.S. He figured
Vampire
he
said
tried anyway.
the vampire guy said no enter, so he doesn't enter. Is
He
that
doesn't
right?
enter. Vampire said no enter. Mr.
Uh,
Crowley said enter.
well,
Uh, let's see who
um,
else we have. We have Be More Dino.
yeah,
Dino from the Flintstones. Awesome. I love that. He said enter.
okay.
Rebecca said enter. That's my girlfriend, by the way. She
Ah.
said, yeah, she said she's going to enter in to win. Oh, you're funny. Let's
um,
see. Anybody else? Anybody else? Make sure I got everybody. All right, we're going to close the giveaway here. Anybody else want in that lives in the U.S. to win that FPV prize pack? Just type in enter. 608
yeah.
said no enter. All right, so it looks like we've narrowed it down to Be More Dino. We
Mm-hmm.
got Savannah's Adventures, which is Rebecca, and we have Mr. Crowley. We also
Yeah.
have Roberto FPV and Michael Blade.
Yes. So I'm sorry, but I haven't seen any people like this. I mean, on social media, I don't know anyone. Actually, it makes me unbiased, so that's good. Um,
Exactly.
I just decided I would probably pick the person entering sort of in the middle of the entries, and it seems like it's Mr. Crowley and his drone if I read properly the
All
list.
right, Mr. Crowley. Let me find his. I think he's up here. Where is he at, Mr. Crowley? I saw it in there. Mr.
Yeah.
Crowley, there he is. Congratulations, Mr. Crowley. You have won the giveaway, handpicked by Onigiri herself. So all you have to do to claim your prize, and I'm going to ship this to you absolutely free. All you have to do is send me an email. I'm going to type it down in the chat at emarvel09@gmail.com with your shipping information. And as long as you're in the US, I'm going to ship that FPV prize pack to you for free. Awesome. What a great job. Thank you so much for hand picking. We give it up for Onigiri for her awesome pick there.
I'm sorry for all the other people though.
Oh no, that's okay. There's going to be more giveaways on the channel, guys. So I want to let you guys know that next month we got two more special guests, and we're going to be doing more giveaways. So you
Nice.
already know what to do. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notified first when I put out new content, and make sure you subscribe to Onigiri as well. I demand you.
Thank you.
All right. So now I want to just sit here and talk to you and see what's been going on with you here recently in the hobby. What's new? What's on the horizon? Anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, no problem. So, I took a big break, at least on YouTube, from the hobby at some stage because I needed to sort out my life first. So
Absolutely.
that's what happened, and then it was really hard to get back. I had issues with the frame I was flying at the time. It took me a long time to decide to change frames and. I mean brands, and to just get successful build. I would always have issues because I had taken such a long break. I had components that were not working and I didn't remember they were not working. I was just a mess at the time. And so we're talking 2020, 2019, 2020, and Snake FPV helped a lot with just bringing back the confidence for me in building and all these kind of things. So that was recently, pretty much until now. I'm still experimenting with my fleet. I'm happy with my Apex. So I chose the Apex when it came out because I really like the concept behind it, with having the Apex OSD board in it, to have the electronics it was coming with, and it was an easy build if you're flying KISS, which is what I was flying at the time. I'm still flying one Apex on KISS. So yeah, I've flown this Apex and some alien that are now retired. I have them here.
You
My
say
old
fleet.
alien.
So how many quads do you have mainly for, let's say, 5 inch?
So I used to have two aliens, one Apex when I redid my fleet. So they
Uh
were
huh.
all working very well. I was so happy with them. And now I've retired my two aliens and I have two Apex, one micro Apex, and I'm rebuilding a Cinewhoop. So that's the current stage
I
now.
love fleet. I mean that describes it all. Like, check out my fleet. I love it.
Yes.
Real quick, welcome in. Love my drones and big oily guy and forevermore. Welcome
Oh,
in, guys. Welcome in. Thank you so much for stopping in. Greatly appreciate it. So, and you
so
also have a Cinewhoop.
yes. So HDLRC contacted me. I think it was last year, end of last year, to see if I wanted to test a Cinewhoop that they're doing. It's the V-Ron. I think it was already V2 at the time, that the one they sent me. It was a good opportunity for me to try digital again at the time. So it's thanks to them that I was able to try digital again, because I tried it when it was out. It was I didn't like it, and then on the VRON, I did obviously software updates had happened, and I did a bit of a hack to have a better vision, and yeah, I just really liked it. So I had a Cinewhoop for a long time, and then because I wanted to build the 4-inch, I reused a lot of components on it. So then I didn't have a Cinewhoop, but last week I decided to put back some other components in my Cinewhoop. So I'm reviving it at the moment. It's going to be on analog. Um, just because, like I said earlier, I still prefer the latency and everything with analog. So
Absolutely.
it also has a Foxy Falco V2 probably in it. And
Okay.
um actually no, this one, sorry, no, I tried to put one, but it actually has a Runcam Racer in it.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, because it was
That has
small
the
and I just
even
thought,
lower latency, right?
yes. So I'm just like, I just put this one in it, and some spare parts I had in my Alien, and I'm gonna try to test it probably this weekend or the next. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to have a Cinewhoop just to try it out.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
how's the weather been over there? You having decent weather now to be flying?
It's winter at the moment, so
Ah,
it depends. And also I live in Melbourne, and it's a very strange climate there. You can have lots of rain. You can have four seasons in one day, we say. So you can have rain in the morning and then a bit of sun. So you're happy, you go out, and then it rains again once you arrive at your spot. And it's
I know.
always like,
I hate when that happens.
yes. So, but it's not just the weather that's to blame sometimes, because as you get older, you realize you cannot fly as much as you used to because you're tired. You're tired from your work. You're tired from other things. So
Absolutely. It
it,
happens, right?
yeah, and I wish I had more energy sometimes. And also, I really like flying with other people, and I don't have that many people where I live to fly with at the moment.
Uh,
So if
are
I
the
want to fly,
COVID restrictions finally getting better
um,
over there, hopefully?
yes, we had a lockdown 2 weeks ago, so that also, yeah, prevented me from going on the other side of the city, like a good 1 hour and a half drive from where I live to see my friends and fly with them. So, yeah, it's a little bit, yeah, it's not the same when you fly alone, and COVID definitely didn't help.
I know. It really has been a mess. But
Yes,
I'm hoping that it's going to get better, both over on your side, and it's definitely starting to get better over here.
yes, yeah,
I want to see, people unite again and get together and fly like before all this mess. And
yeah, yes, yeah,
so awesome.
yeah.
Welcome in Blizzard FPV. Thank you for
That's a
coming
cool
in.
name.
Yeah, I know, right? I like that.
So yeah, what's coming is just probably more experimenting with my 4-inch, because I think in the future, hopefully, I will only fly smaller drones like this. I'm
Uh huh.
hoping to find solutions for this kind of little drones that make building easier, maybe, these kind of things. Just because I never really I build my drones, but I don't like doing it. So I'm hoping that, in the future, some pilots will be able to focus more on the flying side and less on the building. I hope we can make enough progress in terms of components so that we have to spend less and less time building them, and hopefully just enjoy the flying for those who like it, and then those who like building, they're free to keep fiddling with their fleet, but it's not something I like.
I never would have guessed that. I thought that you love building because you do it so well. Like when you present it and you show like your B roll, and I was
Thanks.
like, oh man, she really gets in there and solders it and builds her own. I think that's awesome. I actually enjoy building. I'm one of them weirdos that I could
That's
just
good.
sit on the bench and just sit here and solder and tinker, and yeah, I'm just one of them weirdos. But I have to say I do appreciate the all-in-one ESCs. They make things a lot easier and quicker to solder up. I love the
Yes.
fact that most of the components that are out now, they have the plug header connections, right? You don't have to
Yes.
worry about soldering 10 different wires to the from the ESC to the flight controller. Now it just plugs in. Stuff like
Yeah.
that really does make a huge difference.
Yeah. Or when I started, I think it was probably the same for everybody. Sometimes you would receive the board, and you were not sure which pads were which pads. It was just like, oh, what is it? Like, it was just like, whereas now, I've recently hold on a second. I've had I've tried with Rush FPV Electronics recently for Betterfly, and
Oh, okay.
where is it? And I was quite happy with the way they present stuff on their flight controller. So I still need to test fly it, but I don't know if you'll be able to see. They write everything. So That's the side of the flight controller. But on the other side, they described everything, and
Oh,
it's
I
the first
like
time I
that.
see a yeah, it's very tidy. So you can't go wrong. Everything is detailed, so you can see uh, all your RX and ground, and it's big enough because I don't have a good eyes. So when I saw that, I just thought it's very clear what you need to do with this flight controller, and I had never seen that clear before in the hobby. So maybe I didn't choose the right brands, but
No, I think you did because I'm a huge fan of Rush FPV. That's all I use for my analog VTXs are the Rush tanks.
okay.
And let me tell you, them things are solid. I've smashed them into concrete, asphalt. Like I said, I try to fly a lot of abandoned type locations, and not really the best, obviously for the quadcopter, but for the footage, absolutely, it's awesome. But
Okay.
I have been so impressed with how much of a beating those VTXs can take.
That's good news because, like I said, I've just built that one, this alien on this Apex, sorry, on Betterflight with the analog board. So the one I showed you is the digital board, and this one has so I had the analog flight controller as well, and I'm hoping like I just made it and then I landed it, but hopefully I hope like you said it will be able to be sturdy, just like I'm so used to the Kiss
I'm so
electronics that
excited to hear you say beta flight because that's what I fly. I'm like, yes, yes, Onigiri's going to fly beta flight. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not closed-minded. I started on Betterflight, and then when I discovered Kiss, at the time for me it was a big gap. I just thought, oh wow, it's different. You feel more like you're on a train track. That's how I describe it. There's a bit of black magic, and you feel like I was able to put my drone more where I wanted. In the
Okay.
air. It's like after a while, maybe people have forgotten, but when you start flying you're not that connected to your drone. You still have to think, I want to go there, and you have to bring it there. After a while, you don't really think that consciously as well, that much, I mean. But yeah. So, but when I switched at the time, when I was in that process of getting better, the Kiss board helped me being in control, of my drone.
That's
And
awesome. Keep it
but
super
now,
simple, right?
yes, but now I feel like Betterfly does this very, very well. So I don't know if it's that much important these days.
Yeah.
I'll see if I like it. The only thing with Betterfly is you guys are crazy because you want to you want to have a setting for everything, and I'm like,
I know
what?
it's a little overwhelming. It can be a
Yes,
little overwhelming.
because I don't know what's essential. Well, I know from back in days, I know which one I still need to obviously set up. But sometimes I'm like, do I need to fiddle with those all these additional stuff? I don't know if I need to.
There's a lot of stuff that's there that you really don't even need to mess with. You'll you'll
Okay,
you'll learn as you start making your way through. You'll be like, oh yeah, really don't need to mess with this at all. You got to
okay,
figure beta flight. It's for fixed wings and quadcopters and hexacopters, and it's pretty much for anything that flies. So there's a lot
yeah,
under the hood there that you probably won't even ever mess with.
okay, that's
Um,
good.
yeah. Welcome in Bob Casey Aerial and Fly Zone Drones. Welcome in, guys. Glad to see you. And
Hey.
Drone Shots. Welcome in, brother. How you been? Good to see you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A for you guys. If you guys have any questions for Onigiri, please feel free to ask her in the chat. And also, I want to we actually need your help if possible. Um, Onigiri is having a little bit of an issue with her 3D printer. So if anybody in the chat is familiar with 3D printers, what do you got going on there, Onigiri, that we can hopefully try to help you out?
So I purchased from my previous workplace a Prusa. I think you say Prusa,
Uh huh.
MK3. And it was working fine, and I bought it last year in December and didn't touch it because I didn't have time to and also I had nothing to print. So I just didn't touch it until this month. So that's a good 6 months almost, to without making it work. And when I started calibrating it, it was fine. The fans are working, the head is hitting, everything is okay except my x axis. It says when I'm trying to calibrate it, it says it's too short. And I think it just says that because it's not smooth, it's not going smooth on those rods that I have. And I haven't really moved it around, so I don't see how the rods could have, stopped being parallel to each other. So I don't know if it's this issue. My first guess at the moment is that the belt is not lubricated enough, so it might be a bit rough. I don't know. I just don't know if it's this or if the belt is too tight, but I don't see how the belt could become too tight by itself. It doesn't make sense. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if anybody has any advice for Onigiri, please put it down in the live chat or in the comments of if you're watching this back in the future. Go ahead and put that down in the comments. And what's another good way if somebody wanted to reach out to give you some help? What's a good way for them that you would like them to contact you?
Instagram is where I usually read all my DMs because Facebook is for family, Instagram is for everybody.
Okay, so you can check out Onigiri, and it's Onigiri FPV, right?
Yes,
For your Instagram.
yeah, onigiri.fpv, but I think if you type onigiri FPV, you find it. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Vampire says, "Is the belt too tight?" Well, that was what you were thinking, so that could be a
Yeah.
possibility, I guess. If it's
Mm,
new, I guess maybe it needs to be stretched a little bit more, or like you said, maybe put some of that lubrication on there and see if that will help it to stretch out. Maybe.
Yeah, and I read some help online. They were saying, "Are you sure you have the right model of your 3D printer? In the memory of the printer." And I think I have the right version of it. I didn't put like another type of Prusa. And then if it's not this solution, if it's not a belt issue, it's going to start being very even more difficult, I think, to to find what the problem is. Yeah.
Okay. 608 asks, "Is there any plans to bring the podcast back?"
So the podcast is back actually since
Oh,
this month. Yes. So I recorded an episode with Mayon
yay!
High. Yay. So we're gonna try to record once a month and publish once a month at least, if not more. So we have one that just got published, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm recording one tomorrow evening with BMS Thomas and his dad and Lexi. So it should be out
My own high.
hopefully. Yes. Yes.
She is awesome as well. I had her on the show a little while back. Really,
Yeah. Yeah.
really cool individual. And update: Lexi is doing a lot better with her foot injuries. I don't know if you
Yes.
heard, but you probably did. But she's doing a
Yeah.
lot better. So
Yeah, yes, I'm glad. Yeah, I really wanted Lexi to be the co host for all the FPV topics we were going to talk about because at least she's racing, and because I'm not racing at all, it's good to have her with her racing point of view and me with my standard freestyle, point of view. So this way we can interview different type of people. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to interview BMS Thomas and his dad. So we're going to talk about what they've been up to and also what they will, sorry, the motors are out. So the new motors, the BMS motors. So we want to talk about this. It's not a live podcast, so we're recording this tomorrow, and hopefully I can publish this coming week. So that would be
awesome.
good.
That sounds exciting.
Yes.
Bob Casey Ariel says, "How long have you been flying?" Well, we talked about that in the beginning, but if you want to give them a time stamp.
Yeah, so I flew a bit line of sight in 2014 in France, and then I flew a Mavic, if that counts, in 2016, and then I started slowly flying FPV at the end of 2017, and was that at the end? No, at the end of 2016 as well, and more seriously in 2017, and then 2018 was when I was like full on, and I came to the US and all these kind of things. Yeah.
And met up with some really cool people and had an awesome time, right?
That was so cool. I miss this.
I know. Well, hopefully you can get back over here. I would love to fly with you one day. I'm over
Ah,
like near Philly, so I'm near like Bot Grinder. If that makes any
yes.
sense.
Yeah, if I come back, definitely stopping by. I want to see Bot Grinder again, and
Yeah.
then I want to go to California and see Zorro again. It was such a good trip. Met all the people that I was watching on YouTube, and you get that weird thing of like, oh, they're really here. I can touch them if I want. It's just,
Yeah.
it was good to see them in real life and not
In person,
just,
absolutely. Makes a big
yeah,
difference.
yes.
608 asks, what's the podcast called now then?
Ah, yeah, I see the confusion because I had another podcast with Snake. So the new podcast is called Onigiri and Co. Like Monster and Co. But Onigiri
Oh,
and Co.
Onigiri
Yes,
and Co. Okay. In
yeah.
company,
So
right? Like in company?
yes. So
Okay.
you can find it on Instagram, and then on Instagram in the biography you can find a link, and then the link will take you to the website I hosted in, which is Anchor, and then but you can also find it on all your platforms. So we are on Pocket Cast if you use the app on your phone, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or you can find it. Yes.
Okay. Failsafe FPV asks, gave you
Hmm.
some recommendation here. Might be worth contacting Prusa Support. They are excellent
Okay.
and they will help you fix your printer. So there's an option as well. Thank you,
That's good.
Failsafe, for the
Yes.
awesome advice there.
Thank you.
Bob Casey, no need to apologize, man. I was just yanking your leg, man. I was like, out. We talked about it earlier, but I was gonna get her to tell you anyway. So there you go. No worries. Let's see. Hey, welcome in, Spudnik. Thanks for coming in. And he asks, what stops you from flying?
That's an interesting question.
Very interesting.
So, work happened in different ways. When I arrived in Melbourne, I really needed to find a work urgently after my trip to the US, and then I got very invested in that work, which was selling drones for a hobby store. So I put
Oh,
all my energy in their YouTube channel instead of mine, and I didn't fly my drones because I was building a lot of drones for customers at work, so I didn't have time to do things for me. I also
yeah.
had bad life at the time. I had problems to sort out, so that was hard. And then now I have a job that I love, which is photography, videography for a business here, and
Awesome. Good for you.
that's yeah, it's really good. And the thing is, I can work any day, any morning, any afternoon, any night. It's not a routine, so it breaks. You can't really make plans, and sometimes with FPV you need to have your fleet ready. You need to be ready to go fly. You can't just like rock up and hope it works. So with that current work, again, it's a bit harder. And I also have family thing here going on, and I like spending time with my partner and my dog. So sometimes
Absolutely.
if you have a heavy week at work, as much as I love my work, it can be stressful or demanding physically. If I'm
Oh,
tired,
yeah.
all I want to do is just be sometimes hanging out with my partner and my dog and do nothing. So that's what stops me from flying. But other days, I'm like, especially today, it's sunny. I don't know if you can see, it's
Oh, yeah.
quite
I can see
sunny.
coming through the window.
And I know I have charged batteries, so I think it could be a good opportunity to test that Apex better flight for good this time.
Send it.
Yes.
So, I can, that's so crazy because I can relate in so many ways to what you said because, I want to fly more than I
Mhm.
do. But yes, when you work full time and you have family that, needs your time and attention and support, and at the end of the day, we can't forget for most people,
Yes.
FPV is a hobby.
Yes.
It's something that we love to do, but it's a hobby, so it actually ends up coming last in
Yes.
the tier of things that are important in our lives. So, um,
But
so
y-
what I got a question for you. So what motivates you? What pushes you to be like, you know what? I'm going out today. I'm going to fly today. I might not feel like flying, but I'm going to go out and fly anyway. What or
that
who inspires you?
That's a always other people. So if I watch videos, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm going out. So if I rewatch old videos from Tom Smith, I'm like, okay, I'm going out, because he's just like, he doesn't care if he crashes and he loses his drone, and it helps me thinking, oh well, yeah, I will crash, but it's not the end of the day. So the attitude of some pilots, I really like Bud Grinder because he's just so transparent with everything. I love it, like when he went recently, there was a video, he went flying and then he was like, oh fuck, my tango, his module at the back was not working and he had to go home, fix it, go back. Like, this kind of people inspire me. And then just sometimes just flight videos. I like Blackbird style a lot. um French pilots that I had met or lived with here in Australia when they came to visit. I still watch their videos. It's more like cinematic style, and it's not at all what I do. But because I watch this, there's a good music. They're tracking, ski people doing their thing, or paragliding people, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go out. And even if I'm on a soccer field doing stuff, it's nothing
Yeah.
to do with. It's just, yeah, that's what motivates me. Or
How about
sometimes,
Johnny FPV, huh?
yes,
Whew.
yes.
He's got some
Always.
inspiring videos, doesn't he?
He's always one step further, isn't he? Like,
I look at
have
his
you seen?
videos and I'm like, my mind just is like blown. Like, how does he make it look like that and do that? And wow, it must take so much time.
He's impressive. There's a big difference between being impressive, just impressive, but also then being, like you said, an inspiration. I'm impressed by lots of pilots, including, Steele, like all the good pilots. But then finding inspiration in others' work, I think it's different for everybody because we're all sensitive to different things. And Joni always is always that person to me. If I watch a video, I'm just like, wow. And I send it to other people who don't fly drones but are into videos,
Uh
making
huh.
videos, and they're just like, they want to start flying after seeing that. So
Right. Hey,
yeah.
good night, Baduga. Thanks for coming in, man. I greatly appreciate
Yeah.
you hanging in there. He's over in Spain, so it's 2 a.m. for him, so
Oh
he
yeah.
is off to bed.
Yes.
This is actually a question I had for you as well, but Forevermore already nailed it. He says, "Who is your favorite pilot that's not sponsored or known well yet?"
That's tricky because
I
the
have
young
one,
ones,
but you go
yes.
ahead.
Okay. I found a couple. So at the time, I just want to mention him because I felt like this for a young guy in France. He was called G True FPV, J True FPV. You should check him out because he's sponsored now. But when he started, he was not sponsored. He had like
Oh,
a one drone, and he was young and doing this. Like, I watched him fly, and I was like, who is this guy? He was, and all his friends, I was like, yep, that's him. He's really good. And he had no sponsors, but I think now he's doing a lot better. So J True, that was 2 years ago, but currently not sponsored. I would say Black Market FPV. He's Australian. I really
oh,
like what he does. You should check him out. He's so good at chasing cars, but also so drift cars, but also he does freestyle, and I like it. He can do cinematic stuff, but he can also do good freestyle. So Black Market, and then there's a new pilot now. It doesn't count because now he's just got sponsored by Impulse RC, but Joseph Webb, I really like what he's doing at the moment. Very young too. I think he's 17.
oh,
Yes,
wow.
yes, yeah. So
So I have two that come to mind.
yes,
One of them, he's kind of getting to the point where he's well known, but he kind of came out of nowhere, and that's Slat FPV.
okay.
Slat FPV really impresses me. I really love his style, his flow. It's just mind blowing what he does and how he ties it all together. He makes it look effortless, and I love that he doesn't just post like of him flying. He actually posts a lot of tutorial videos as well to try and teach people how to do these tricks and how to kind of flow and do these maneuvers. So I really like that he is trying to help the community and show not only how he flies, but how you can learn to fly that kind of way.
Mm.
So I really do like that. And then the second one Um, Not well known, I don't think yet, is Pepper FPV, a
Ah.
5-year old, I believe
Oh.
from, I think it's, I don't want to, I think it's somewhere over in China. I don't know where exactly,
Oh.
but a 5-year old flying freestyle, and he is amazing. If you ever check him out on Instagram or on YouTube,
I will.
it just blows your mind. You're like, a 5-year old is flying like this? Wow.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah, and a good buddy of mine, MD95TSI. Let me go ahead and shout him out as well. Make sure you check out each and every Friday night for the most part. Make sure you check out the Drone Network, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He has a really great show, links up with some really good pilots, awesome community over there. Make sure you check out Crystal Justice as well. And on every other Wednesday, make sure you check out the FPV Noob Tube Hump Day, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on, hang over there, have a good time as well. But yeah, MD95TSI, Chris Justice, good buddy of mine, he was like, "Oh, you gotta check out this 5-year old Pepper FPV," and I watched, and I was just blown away. I said, "Wow, this is amazing."
I need to have a look, especially just for the cuteness as well.
Oh yeah, I mean the guy, he puts the fat sharks on, and they're obviously like, so much bigger than his little head, but
Oh.
he gets them in there, and they got the foam, all set up for him. Really, really
Oh.
cool, really cool. Welcome in NZL Sub Zero. He started FPV and addicted already. I can't relate. Right? It
Me
is
neither.
very addicting for sure.
Yes.
Let's see. Carbon Cage from Australia was 4 when he
Wow.
won his first bot coin, and he's 5 now, and just broke his arm.
Oh no.
Oh, so sad. Jeez. Cage has the raddest mullet in the hobby.
Oh really? I need to check this out.
Yeah, I think he's flying digital now.
Mm.
So I have to make a suggestion for you, because you told me that you try the DJI
Yeah.
and the latency just kind of doesn't work for you, right?
Hmm.
So I have to say, if you ever get a chance, definitely try out the shark bite.
Okay.
Um, it it's not going to be as good as DJI as far as the overall quality yet, but
Yeah.
if we can improve upon what they've already done, I think we're really going to have something, because the latency to me and a lot of other pilots feels very similar to analog. Very
Mm.
similar. The latency is like, just actually it's the same. It's pretty much the same as analog.
Okay.
It's you don't have that extra latency like you do with the DJI. So
That's
definitely try that
interesting.
out if you get a chance.
So hopefully, because we just get out of a lockdown, but I'm hoping to go to Queensland next month, which is where Final Glide lives. And
Oh yeah,
yes, and I know he has a another friend. We probably maybe you know him. He's called Mark, and he has Fat Shark. He always flies Fat Shark, and I think he was one of the first one to try this kind of system. So he must have, hopefully, this system digital. And I'm thinking
yeah.
maybe he will let me try it. I don't know. I'm sort of hoping he will. So
Oh
we'll
yeah. Well,
see.
I wouldn't be afraid to just go ahead and ask him. Hey, if you don't mind, can I try that
Yeah.
out? Because DJI feels a little bit too much latency for me.
It's it's interesting because once you fly DJI all the time, you forget that you have the latency. That's what happened to me, especially because with the 4 inch, I'm doing different freestyle than with the 5 inch, just because that's what I want to do at the moment. But then I reverted back to my 5 inch analog last weekend, and I was like, "What? How did I forget?" So yeah,
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 I
it's
can
different.
definitely relate to you. I've flown DJI as well. It was hard because I flown the DJI, and then I went back to my analog, and I did kind of feel like I wasn't quite as connected with the quad in the DJI.
Yes,
Um, but
yeah,
I think, if, like you said, if you fly it long enough, I think you just kind of adapt, and your
yeah.
brain just kind of gets used to it.
Yeah.
But the switching back and forth, and that's where I'm at. Like I don't fly exclusively shark bite. Like I still fly analog. So switching back and forth from the analog to the shark bite,
Yeah.
it's perfect. Like you don't
Okay.
feel any difference in the latency,
Mm.
And the way it
Okay.
breaks up too is very similar to analog. Very
Yes.
similar. I think you'll feel kind of right at home.
Okay. Okay. That's good. And I really like the fat shark. Just the way they sit on your face more than the DJI goggles do. When I wear the DJI goggles, it's just not the same. You can fly with it, but it's not fat shark.
Have you heard? Have you heard? Fat Shark is. They have officially said that they are releasing a new goggle with shark bite built in.
Ah, no, I haven't heard that. That's good. Yeah.
They actually have officially announced that on their Facebook group. We just don't
Mm.
have a time or a date, obviously, but we know it's coming. So, and what I think is really cool is Fat Shark has actually opened up to the community and they want everybody's input, whether you have it, whether you're
Mhm.
thinking about getting it. They're asking you, what do you want to see in the newer renditions? What would you like to see improved, changed upon? I think that's
Yeah.
really important for this project.
Yes. Yeah, I think, we were discussing this a bit with Bot Grinder in the podcast we did with him and Mayon High. It's just DJI, he chose not to use it because also for ethical reason, and you know how he is. And I agree. And I was lucky to, be able to test Cinewhoop, for example, that came with the DJI system in it. I feel very grateful that HDLRC sent me a Cinewhoop like that. So, and also I feel grateful that DJI had sent me in the past goggles to try it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
so it was an easy step for me to try digital to go with DJI, and it's doing the job. But the community we have, we know that we're more people. We like things that are open source, sort of.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
So I understand that it's appealing to some pilots to have the DJI thing because it works. So you don't have to think too much about it. It's going to work. But for other people who are more used to fiddling, giving feedback, having answers to their feedback, yeah, Fat Shark is probably more the answer for this kind of people. And I still feel like it's a bigger percentage of the core of the hobby at the moment. People are full on open source systems. So yeah.
Absolutely. And in the end, it's going to result in a better product for the community because now
Yeah.
this isn't something that was just worked on from, people that work for a company in an office somewhere.
Yeah.
This is going to be a product that is going to be released and built because of the community's feedback, because of what you guys have asked for, what you guys have reported back. And I
Yeah.
think that's just awesome. I think that the shark bite, honestly, the product that we have out now is a great beta product.
Mhm.
Absolute great beta product. It has been very fun for me to test it out and others, but I really do think that the final product when it comes out, I really think it's going to give DJI a run for its money because of that latency factor.
Yes. Yeah. That's good. That's good news. Looking forward to it.
A lot of people are definitely looking forward to that. So, anybody else have any questions for Onigiri? Mr. Crowley, please make sure you send me an email if not already with your shipping information, and I will send that to you this week, actually. He said they're probably going to be the Recon style. Is that like the box style that you're talking about, the Recons? We'll see.
Mm.
We'll see. I'm hoping that they do it with the kind of like the same shape they have now with like the HD02s and the HD3s.
Yeah.
Um,
I wonder what would prevent them. The Recon were very basic. I wonder what would prevent them from doing the better design, when it comes to integrating the digital system in it. Is it because it takes more room, or I just
yeah,
wonder.
because like if you hold on one second, if you all right, I'll kind of show you. If you take a
Yes.
look at how the product is now, how you add it on to, your
Mm.
existing goggles, right? You
Yeah.
can see that it does make it a little bit, deeper. But if they were
Mm.
to encase that in the goggle and make it all one piece, I don't think
Yeah.
that would be bad at all. I don't think that would be a
No.
bad thing at all to encase that and make it all one part of the goggle. The weight's
Yeah.
not bad. It's not like you can feel the excess weight from the module on your face. You really don't.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't interfere with the analog side either. So if you
Okay.
can kind of see that.
Yeah.
But I don't see why I don't see why they would go with recon style. I feel like that would be taking a step back.
Yeah, and from a marketing point of view, I don't know how it would go. Pilots are used to this now, and if they're like core analog pilots and they're like, "Oh no, I don't want to end up with a goggle box again," I don't know if they should do this. Yeah.
Exactly. And that is the number one complaint of
Mhm.
every pilot that I have basically spoken to about DJI. The number one complaint is the way the goggles fit.
Yeah.
Everybody complains. They're like, well, I just pushed through it because, of the awesome, range and
Yeah.
penetration and all that. And I get that. I get that. DJI, no doubt, has way better range of penetration right now at the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but you can't ignore the fact that the goggle is just not as comfortable and it is substantially larger and heavier on your face.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Um, so we'll see. And do you think the Fat Shark special digital will be, how can I say, hybrid? Like you can have the choice of having analog, and I wonder if they could do this.
I you know I would say that I would love to see that happen, and
Yeah.
that would make me happy. But as from a company standpoint, I
Yeah.
don't think they would want to do that because they would basically make all of their other goggles previously obsolete by doing
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be HD exclusive
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah.
just because it gives other people a reason that are still flying analog to be like, oh, well, I don't want to, if I want HD, I got to buy the HD goggle. And if I want to fly analog, I got to buy the analog goggle.
Yes. Yeah.
But then again, to compete with DJI, they really
Mm,
should have it to be able to do analog because you can do that with DJI.
yes.
So,
It depends on your approach because you could also, if you really, really, uh, if you want to bring digital in the hobby, if you're Fat Shark, you could say, if we have a pair of goggles that can do both, then we make a choice to make those older goggles obsolete, sort of. And then all the pilots now who fly analog need the new version that can also do digital. And then they're like, oh, actually, digital works okay because you can give it a go because your goggles do both. So I
yep.
agree. It depends on your business plan, I suppose.
Yeah, I think if they want to stay competitive to DJI, they really should release it to be able to do both, to
Mm,
both do
yeah,
analog and HD as well.
yeah, yeah,
A lot of people were saying in the comment, "Hey, welcome in, Jay Moyer. Good to see you." The foam goes a long way on the DJI. Absolutely, you can customize the foam to fit your face to help with that. I definitely agree with that. And he says I need to do the nose thing forevermore. And then 608 says he doesn't notice the weight. He has the straps tight pulled, so that pulls him closer to the face. Now, 608, are you doing the over the head strap? Because I know some people, they do the over the head strap with the side strap, and then other people just do the side strap.
mm,
I'd be curious to know what you
yeah. Me
use for
too.
that.
Yeah,
Yep, DJI goggles can do both. Absolutely.
yeah,
I don't think there's anything wrong with having some good, healthy competition in the hobby. If
yeah.
anything, it's going to push the other companies to get more competitive with their pricing, increase the technology, get better and better to go against the competition.
Definitely, I agree.
It's a win-win for us, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, it will be nice also to see Fat Shark because Fat Shark was the reference. Like when I started, and you get your first pair of Fat Shark, you're like, "Ah, I have my pair of Fat Shark." Fat Shark is the thing. So seeing that they were a bit behind with digital, it made me a bit sad in a way. I was like, oh, Fat Shark is not the thing anymore. So maybe that will bring them back as
I
well
hope
in
so.
terms of image. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome in, Bill. Coast to Coast Drones. Good to see you. What I think is really cool about the shark bite, and I think it's cool that even me having the older HD3 goggles, okay, and
Hmm.
any goggle that has a mini HDMI input, you can make your goggle into HD for shark bite. I think that's awesome because it doesn't just limit you to Fat Shark goggles. Fat Shark
Yes.
actually basically put out a product and said, "Here, put this on your Sky Zones, put this on your eSheen, whatever you have that has a mini HDMI, you
Yeah.
can use it."
That's really smart from them. And maybe they will also keep that independent module for a while so that it brings people will be like, oh, I can buy this module. What is it? Not module, but system. And then you'll be like, oh, Fat Shark. And then you realize they actually make goggles in the future themselves. And you could be like, well, maybe I try their stuff. It's a smart way. Sometimes it's smart, to not be closed all the time. Like what they did is
Yes,
good. It's a good way.
absolutely. I would say even with the LCD screens, I do definitely see an upgrade to my analog image quality.
Okay.
I noticed when I fly close to the trees, I can see like the individual leaves a lot better and like the blades of grass and stuff like that. And you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is so refreshing to be able to just like not see like a blurry tree, but see like a clear tree, you know?
It's so funny because it has become a meme with my friends here as well. Because everybody who flies the digital first time, they're like, I can see the leaves. Now it's just a meme. It's, I can see the leaves,
I know. Yeah. And
But
if
I,
it,
yeah.
the analog, I got to say though, the analog cameras and the CMOS sensors, they have come a
Yeah.
long way. I mean, you can with the OLED screens like for your HDOs, and
Yes.
using those really nice, good CMOS cameras with the nice CMOS sensors, you can
Hmm.
still really see a lot more than you could before in
Yes.
analog.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
Let's see, what little printer is that behind your lady friend there?
Right. So that's the Prusa MK3.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
And it's
I don't know if you do 3D printing, Bill, or not, but she actually was having a little bit of an issue with the, what was it, the axis alignment or something like that.
Yeah, the printer thinks the axis is too short, so it cannot calibrate it. So I need to figure out why it thinks it's not
Yeah,
the right
so
length.
if you know of a fix for that or have any suggestions, feel free to put it down in the chat or send Onigiri a message through Instagram, onigiri.fpv, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Embrace the scraggle. Hey, never disarm, never surrender.
Yes.
I have won many a battles from just keeping my quadcopter armed and just pushing through.
Yes.
If you have Fat Shark Attitude V5s or lower, you were stuck.
Mm.
Okay, because they don't have the mini HDMI in. Good to know.
Mm.
The Foxeer Toothless 2 is the best analog cam. Okay, I've used.
I've heard that too. Yes. So my good friends from here, from around Melbourne, they've talked about this camera, and they're good freestyler as well. You can check them out. It's Cody K, Steady FPV, and Evoke FPV. They're really good. Like they all have a different style, and I think they are the ones who mentioned that camera to me as well. And
Yeah,
it's yeah.
and I actually have been trying out on my 5 inch the Foxeer Digisight, which is
Okay.
a analog and HD camera. It can do either or. So
Mm.
I've been flying that with the Fat Shark, and I got to say, beautiful, beautiful image. I haven't tried it on analog yet, but I
Yeah.
want to get a couple more and actually use them on my analog rigs and actually test out the analog as well. See
Yeah.
how good the image quality is.
So when you use that camera, do you still use the same VTX? Like, how does it work for the signal transmission?
Oh, so basically, you there's two VTX options at the current time for the
Yep.
SharkBite. There's the single stack board, which
Yep.
is the 200 milliwatt output, which I have in my 3 inch Japulora, and then
Okay.
there's the 500 milliwatt double stack board that I have in my 5 inch.
Okay.
And basically, it just has your power, your ground, an RX and a TX pad.
Okay.
Easy peasy. You just
Yes.
use the same UART on the flight controller, You
Yep.
wire up the RX to the TX, TX to the RX,
Hmm.
and it even has the on-screen display now with Betaflight, so you can actually have the canvas mode
Nice.
and actually have the OSD with the SharkBite.
Okay. Oh, the more you
And
speak, the more I'm like, hmm.
I got a video coming out Monday that's basically my complete guide on how to get SharkBite set up, how to get it all wired up.
Hmm.
It'll be out Monday, so please feel free to share it. Take a look at
Definitely.
it if you're interested in it. There's also a lot of other videos out there that are really good as well about the SharkBite. I try to get as much detail in the video as I could, and I also, for all you people who don't like the 30-minute long videos, I did put timestamps in it, so you can just look for what you need. Just hit the timestamp, get what you need, bounce.
Yes.
Because we know some people don't like to watch a whole 30
Ah,
minute video, right?
30 is not that bad, these days on YouTube, because I don't know, I don't watch regular TV anymore. YouTube has become my TV.
Right.
So there's a video that's like 55 minutes. I'm happy to sit and watch for 55 minutes if I have the time, it's
I wish
good. If
everybody could
well,
be like you. 608 says maybe the Z stop is too low. I'm guessing you're talking about the Prusa for your printer there. So
mm,
maybe check that out. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with the printer, so I'm going to
okay,
be much help. But yeah, that's a suggestion there from 608. Maybe the Z
okay,
stop is too low.
okay.
Let's see. He used both. Did you see? Exactly. Like I'm the same way, and so is Onigiri.
Yeah,
There's no reason that you can't use both.
yeah,
And I still have yet. I got to test the durability of the components as well. I want to do some torture testing. I want to see how much of abuse can they take before they fail, because I know what my analog can take. It can
yeah.
take a lot.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
um, hey, welcome in, Mystery D. Good to
Hello.
see you in. Yes, just got the kids to sleep. That's always a good thing. Safe and sound. Um, yeah. So the prices are definitely better on the 200 milliwatt board.
Okay.
So that one's only like $50. And
Mm.
honestly, from my testing, the 200 milliwatt board is pretty impressive, I have to say. A lot of people were saying in the forum that they think that the 200, because of the way it's built and whatever components they used, the 200 milliwatt board actually works almost just as good as the 500 milliwatt double stack board.
Okay, that's interesting.
And what else you can do with that small board is you can put it in your whoops. It is a whoop size
Ah,
board.
wow, that's cool.
So
Wow.
you can have a digital whoop, which I don't think you can do that with DJI at the current
No,
time right
you would just have like that. Yeah, that would be
now.
hilarious. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, does anybody have any more questions for Onigiri? Because if not, I'm going to let her get her packs charged and get out and do some flying today.
Actually, it's really bad. I probably have some packs charged from last week, which means they've lasted a week charged. Yeah.
Oh
I never
no!
discharge all my pack. No.
All right, I have to tell you this just because it happened to a buddy of mine. I have to tell
Okay.
you. You see this giant white box here?
Yes.
This is. Let me blow up so you can see. This is a bat safe.
Ah, yes. I have one
You can
too,
see it or
actually.
not. It is a fireproof box. Okay.
Ah, okay.
I strongly encourage, please look into getting something safe for your lipos. I had a friend of mine
Hmm.
who had a lipo catch fire in his kitchen,
Ah,
uh, and he was just he was just storage charging it,
ah, yes. Yeah.
and it caught fire, and he doesn't know why. There's no like rhyme or no reason. Like it just happened. So
Mm,
please be super careful with your lipos and check
okay.
out those bat boxes because they are a little bit expensive. That
Hmm.
box right there is about $75, but
Okay.
I would gladly spend $75 and not
Yes.
have my house burned down.
Yes. So how does it
$75,
work?
I'll pay.
Like when you're charging, can you charge? How does it work? Can you explain
Okay,
quickly?
yeah. So basically, the box itself has a hole in the top with a like a rubber seal,
Yeah.
and that allows you to pass the wires through to
Mm.
charge. But it basically it pinches them tight with the rubber seal so that if the lipos catch fire on the inside, all of the smoke, it allows the smoke to vent out so it
Okay.
doesn't create pressure.
Yeah.
So the smoke will vent out, but the fire will burn within inside of the box so it won't spread.
Mm. And how
So
many lipos can you charge in your box?
this box here, it says it no more than, I believe, 10,000 ma.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Okay.
So I use the Ovonic 1,000 ma 6S packs.
Mm-hmm.
I put six of them in there, no problem. You could do
Yeah.
more. You could probably fit. I'd say eight. You could probably
Okay.
fit
Well,
eight in there with your
6
balance
is good.
boards.
Yeah, okay. 6 is already a good way. Like sometimes, when I go out, you do between 6 and 12 batteries anyway, and that's it. And then you're done. You have to go home. So yeah.
Yes. So ammo cans work as well. The only problem with the ammo cans is they don't allow the smoke to vent out, so they can actually build up pressure. And if you have
Mm.
enough lipos in there, they can technically explode and
Oh,
turn the can into shrapnel.
oh
So,
no.
but I agree, it's better than doing nothing. It's better than
Yes.
doing nothing. But yeah, I was, believe me, I was the same way. I got lax. I got
Mm.
real comfortable because I've never had an issue. I would
Yeah.
like I would leave the house with my lipos charging and stuff like
Oh.
very bad, very bad. Don't ever do what I do. I was very bad. And then that happened with my friend, and I said, "All right, that's it. I got to take this way more seriously. Let me invest in this bat box. Let me
Mm.
make sure I always charge supervised, never leave them unattended,
Yeah.
and just, oh, God forbid, I never want to see anybody go through a fire or anything like
Oh.
that."
No, you don't want that.
Absolutely. Let's see. The way she's looking at, she's thinking, I know, but it's his show. Hey, whatever she wants. This is her show tonight. She's a special guest. It's whatever she wants. All right. Well, if anybody else doesn't have any questions, thank you so much, Onigiri, for coming on the show tonight. So happy to have you.
Thanks for having me. Like I told you when you first asked me, I didn't realize it was you asking because I knew you from your TikTok videos. And
Yep.
I was like, "Yeah, sure, I can." And then after that, I checked your profile. I'm like, oh, yeah, definitely now. Because, I was sure I knew you already. It helps, as well.
Yeah.
We didn't speak, but because you make me laugh with your videos and I like beside your funny videos, I like your content, so I was just like, oh yeah, let's do this. I'm so happy we met.
Thank you
It's great.
so much. I greatly appreciate it. And congratulations on all your successes
Ah, thank you.
with YouTube and Instagram and your singing and
Thanks.
with the stuff to come with Impulse RC and the podcast. I wish you all the best successes and all the best luck. And I just can't wait to see more great things coming from you.
Thank you. That's very nice.
And you have a happy, safe flight out there. Do a full send and
Yes.
enjoy that weather.
Thank you. See you soon.
Yes. And make sure you check out Onigiri down in the description. Her channel's down there. Make sure you go ahead and give her a subscribe if you haven't already. Awesome, amazing pilot. And she's got a lot of good information out there on her channel as well as her other social media outlets. Make sure you give her a follow.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you have a great day. Enjoy the
Thanks.
day. And I will be catching up on you on your social media. Don't you worry.
Okay, cool. See ya.
See ya. Thanks so much. Let's give her a hand. Awesome. Onigiri, absolutely amazing. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure if you're not subscribed to my channel and you're coming in for the first time, please consider subscribing. We do lots of fun content, giveaways. I've got some educational content as well, playlists. Make sure you check them out. And we're going to be going live with 2 streams next month. We got 2 more special guests, so you're not going to want to miss out. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. E-Drone out.